This is Ginny, Dave, and Aaron from DS Tech.
Hello.
Good morning.
Beautiful Upper Peninsula of Michigan, where it's snowy and cold. We're sharing with you the dangers of reusing your password.
Don't reuse your passwords. Why not?
Why not?
It's so easy to remember. Password 123
But Dave,
on all my sites.
I've got 50 plus places where I have to put my password in. There's no way you're...
I want to just type in
Ginny
Ginny123.
Yep.
Right, and it's easy to remember. You have lots of sites, right? Nobody would certainly ever guess your Ginny123 password,
Right?
Right?
Well, and Amazon saves it too, so,
Yeah.
you know, why just use the same one?
Right. What I mean, you get to a point where it's like, you know, Dave123, Dave1234, Dave1234. I mean, how many passwords can you come up with for all? I know. It's just like you just run
1,
out
2, 3,
of
4, 5.
right. You just run out of
Oh,
possibilities.
my favorite is
1, 1, 1, 1.
Aaron 2021 and then changing it to Aaron 2022.
2022. Oh,
Yeah, genius.
that's
Genius.
tricky.
Yeah.
So there's just a
Or how
limited
about your
number of
birthday?
possibility for passwords you can use. So you got to reuse them, right?
No!
Never.
No.
I'm going to put one
Don't
caveat.
reuse your password.
I'm going to put one caveat on it. We do have one program that we use that it requires us to use our domain password.
Yes.
But that's a whole other story.
Two-factor authentication, too, though.
Yes,
Mhm.
that's true. It is multi-factor authentication
So-
where you need to okay it on your phone.
Yep.
Yeah.
So
And okay, I'm going to call it three-factor because my phone is fingerprinted, too.
exactly.
Right.
So,
Right.
Well, it's four. It's username, password, the app,
The app.
authenticator, and your phone security.
yeah.
So
Yeah.
And we're not going to say that there's not ways around all of that either, but it is extremely
No,
difficult if
it gets-
somebody's going to go after your information to do all of that.
And the harder it is for them
Yeah.
to get your information, the less likely they're going to
They will
go
move
after
on.
it. Because they're going to go after the easy ones, right?
Yeah.
the low-hanging
Yeah.
fruit. Yep.
Yeah.
So
The dangers.
what happens if you reuse your password on all your accounts? Well, all it takes is one bad guy or woman to get
Or
to
other.
get that password. And we talked about this before. It might not be any fault of your own. It might be the company you use that password with, your Kohl's account, right? Your Amazon account, and someone gets it. And what are they going to do with that password, Aaron?
They're going to sell it. They're going to make something from it. Yep. Turn it into something that they can benefit them.
Right?
And
Or
not harm you.
Get into your bank accounts and
right?
anywhere else. They're going to try it everywhere
Yep.
so they can find the data they're looking for, which is
anything.
Anything. And everything.
anything
Yeah.
they can sell
And,
on the dark web, right?
Or blackmail you for it.
Yeah.
and you know, I want to stress the quickness on how fast all this happens. So the minute you have a compromised password, say you have the same password you use on multiple platforms across multiple, and it can be a lot of different things, your Verizon bill, all that good stuff.
Absolutely.
The internet and the bots that these hackers have at their disposal are so fast that the minute that password's compromised, hundreds, if not thousands of other sites are instantly scanned against those creds. So it's not like they're going to sit down and flip through the newspaper to figure out where they're going to try to figure out where to get your... No. It's like that. And it's across the board, across the world.
Yeah.
So, and then, oh, well, I'll go to bed tonight and change my password tomorrow. Well, I'm sorry to be completely transparent, but it's scary and quick. So.
It is.
Well, it is, and you bring up a good point about the software they use. We've talked about it in previous shows that the bad guys, I call them, that they use, like the spidering software. They gather all kinds of information. Oh, what's your first car? What's your dog's name? And it's just this innocent little Facebook things, but
What's that called? Social engineering,
Yep, social engineering.
right? Is that what it's called?
Reverse
Reverse
social
social
engineering.
engineering. So they take that information,
And so they're like a
put it into
sponge.
their software, and
Yeah, gathering all this information. Aaron's first
And then they
dog
figure it
name
out.
was Dog. And his first car was a
that
you
was
know
the Duke's dog.
dog.
Dog. We called him Dog
So
on that movie.
But the bots, they take all that information and
amalgamate it.
parse it bajillions of times every second to try to figure out and unlock the accounts.
Yeah. You put your
Yeah, they don't sit there on a keyboard and type Aaron 1 2 3, Aaron 1 2 3 4, Aaron 1 2 3 4.
Yeah. And then what happens too is you're putting your place of work at risk, because it's likely you used it at work too, and then they have access to even more valuable data.
Or heaven forbid, others. You know, what if you have others that you have share accounts with, or friends and family members, or and then they don't just stop either. They get one and they call it good. No, they constantly. It's a barrage.
It is.
So now that we've scared you, what
Change
can
your
you
passwords.
do? What can you do? And don't change it from day 1 2 3 to day 1 2 3 4 exclamation point. You need to create, and use strong passwords on every different one on every site. The easiest way is use of a
Password generator or
password manager,
right?
which will generate. I mean, I believe
We
the
use
one I use,
Lastpass.
LastPass.
Mhm.
I believe you can generate a password up to 128 characters.
Yeah, I believe so too.
Good luck cracking that one.
Exactly.
Yeah. And since it's a password manager, and that's double authentication to get into the password manager,
Yep.
you don't have to type in those 128 character passwords.
And it also, once you set it up initially, well, when I did anyway, a couple years ago, it would look at my passwords and tell me, hey, you're using
makes a
different
list.
passwords. Yeah.
It makes a-
Week, low.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
And then a step further too is you can set it up to automate a password refresh incrementally. So if you wanted to every 3 months, and again, this is taking it a step further, but we at DS Tech manage a lot of data. You know, we want to be safe
Yeah.
for everything.
Yeah.
By the way, I don't know if you guys know this, but our business customers have access to Lastpass now
Yes.
through us. We have a plan that goes with our plans, right?
Yep.
So that's cool news.
And
Yep.
LastPass is a password management software.
Yes.
Yep.
There are others, Roboform and something else called Nord, something or other.
What I do as sort of my daily practice, when I come in, certainly we have a system level credentials to get through, but I load LastPass pretty much early on right away, because once that's loaded, it'll then allow me to open
Access
these
all
other places without too much jumping through hoops.
So make sure you have a very strong LastPass main
Password.
password
And two-factor
and
authentication.
two-factor authentication.
Use a password manager.
Use password manager
What else?
and don't reuse passwords.
And don't reuse passwords.
Change them occasionally.
Change them
Change them
occasionally.
occasionally, yeah.
If you don't want to use a password manager, it's going to be up to you to remember all those different passwords. And writing them down on a sheet of paper or keeping them in an Excel spreadsheet is not a password management
Oh my
solution,
gosh.
folks. Oh, I pulled out folks.
Folks, you pulled out the folks.
Around here, we just say folks. You mean business.
That means business when he says folks.
Right?
So, folks, pay
Folks.
attention.
All right, folks. That came from a former
That's funny.
boss, employer.
We do have a tool available for businesses who would like to learn more about their password usage, current usage, and what we could recommend for future usage. What it does is it'll run in the background and it'll present to you sort of your duplicates or any of the passwords that have been logged as potentially compromised. So it is kind of a wake-up call a little bit. What we like to use it for is to actually point out what we're talking about today is those duplicate areas and those ones where the deviations aren't very far apart, just so that you're aware, because I think it's important when you present it to somebody and you show it to them and they see it, it has a little more meaning than just telling it to them. So
Is that part of one of our services, or is that?
yes and no. It's a newer avenue that we're exploring to offer our clients. Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
If you are interested in it, 2 ways. You can sign up for our newsletter and then respond to one of them and say, hey, I want you to scan our network and do whatever. Or just send an email to security@dstech.net. So, that's it.
Well, we got one more thing to point out.
What's that?
If any viewers at home are watching and want to see 3 generations of DS Tech logos,
Here we are.
got Ginny with
This
an
is
older
really
one.
old.
Yep.
I've got a more recent one,
And Dave's
and
got
then
the
Dave's
current one.
got the newest one.
Which you also see
Yeah.
Right there.
there.
No, I'm pointing over there, but it's
Cool.
over there.
Yeah.
There.
Awesome.
All right.
Well, what do we say, Jen?
What do we say?
Make it great.
Oh, yeah. Make it a great day. I say that all the time. Stay